Alright, I guess it's time to start. Give me a second. Okay, I think we're good to go. Alright, hello everyone. Well, today we're continuing our Resident Evil 4 remake playthrough. I'm not tired of this game, not yet. I wonder how many streams it will take is my pacing to finish this one. Trying to remember how long it took to finish Hedon. It's like the longest game that I played. Actually, I completed it. I think it was like around 20 streams. Yeah, that's the figure that's probable to me. Quite realistic. Okay, where did we stop last time? Yeah, we found a handsome merchant. I'll be honest, you know how it is a bit of a controversy, I guess, among some fans of Resident Evil 4, how, or rather like just Resident Evil, how Ada's voice actress is kind of like the choice of voice actress for her was kind of a mismatch.
Hello, stranger.
Hello there. I'm sorry. Yeah. Personally, I don't really think so. For me, it's not that big of a deal. I actually kind of like her voice in the remake. I like Ada's. Oh my god, Ada's voice. Yeah, that's how you do it. That was a tough word to pronounce for some reason. The thing that I actually kind of dislike is when it comes to like voices, I guess, casting, etc. It's the merchant. Like he lost some charisma, you know. I feel like he just lost it. He's like, I don't know, like 30% less charismatic compared to the original merchant, you know. And that's just yeah, that's a little bit sad. Still good. Still a great character. This is such a goofy fire. I wonder if there's some sort of explanation in the game, some lore note about why this fire is purple. What is going on here? I guess in this case it's like visual language tool for denoting merchant's position. I guess. Anyway, let's just continue.
Break's over, I suppose.
Yep. Huh, interesting how this...
Take a look. Something's bound to catch your eye.
It's interesting how from this... from the merchant position, they point us into this direction, right? This is like the gate that is being the most visible, the most noticeable framed thing. And there's like a path that is completely obscured. And I thought for a second that this is where I'm supposed to go, right? That looks like the way to go. But now that I turn around and I see actually there is another road. Maybe this is a shortcut? God, there's another fucking lock. I kind of expressed my frustration during my last stream how this game is just... Honestly, I want to use the word spammy actually when it comes to introduction of various locks. Like, my experience during the last stream was just like lock, 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 and another lock. And there are like no keys at all. And this is just... I think this results in a very... At least I guess for me, it results in a very... kind of just...
Nothing but the fire. finest ways.
Very disappointing, you know, very depressing, kind of mental state, I would say, because it's just when the game constantly shows you obstacles, right? You know, constantly shows you something that is out of your reach, without giving you from time to time to break the pace, actual like a tool to access this that is out of your reach. Yeah, it doesn't feel good at all. It's just like you're like what do you call, like a conditioning, like some sort of like negative conditioning, gamer conditioning or something. Literally gamer abuse, one could say. All right, okay. This is, I assume, might be shortcut. I don't remember what's on the other side.
The hell am I?
¿Dónde estás? Ahí está.
Oh, here you are.
Te vamos a romper. Mierda.
Oh, you're not staggered, lady. And how did you miss, Leon? Come on. I really like how enemies constantly make these barks, right? In this game, how it's just like they're very vocal. They speak relatively uncommon language in video game medium at least, and so it's just it adds so much to the character that I enjoy a lot, right? And the fact that they're just villagers, right? They're normal, well, relatively normal looking villagers compared to zombies, certainly, and that's just, it's even in 2023. That's like, it's so interesting how on a high level, you would assume that like, wait, what? You're making a game like an action third-person shooter game where the common enemies are just some weird ass villagers? Really? That's what you're going to do? Compared to like other titles that have like mutants and zombies and all the typical characters of the genre. So it sounds really just bad and bland and boring, right? But actually, when you're playing the game and in the game, these characters, like the grandma that just attacked me with a knife, she was menacing and she was memorable, and she had these enemies, they have an identity, surprisingly. They're distinct, right? In many ways, because they're vocal, they constantly produce these AI barks, right? And also the fact that just like they're normal looking humans for the most part, and that's just so weirdly refreshing. And kind of, it also feels a little bit sad how in the same, this like the enemy design choice, direction, art direction, sound design, direction, it still feels very fresh. It just kind of makes you think, what were we doing all this time in video games, that this still is just like, wow, okay, this revitalized game is just, it feels like some like great novelty or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's just this game creates very mixed feelings inside of me, All right. So we get a very typical sort of vantage point as a like intro into a new location that presents a significant, gameplay challenge. So we are standing on this high vantage point that lets us view like a big chunk of this area. You can see the enemies are walking. They didn't notice us yet, so we can kind of like observe and figure out their pass movement, and do some planning. However, I'm not doing any of those things. I'm just dropping down. Yeah. Yeah, so much for the stealth. It's so funny how this game treats stealth. Oh my god, I got so preoccupied with this fella. Yeah. And there are also dynamite guys. Yeah. Should have escaped a bit earlier. That doesn't go the way it has to go. Okay, let's use this barrel. Looks quite handy. No, run away, please. And it's a dead end, of course. Of course, it is a dead end. I need to escape this. Let's do a bit of a crowd control. Should I? Are there any other barrels, I wonder? Is that a dead end? Yeah, that's a dead end. Yeah. I am wasting all my kitchen knives on these guys. Yeah, this barrel will be my best option, I feel like. No one behind? Doesn't look like it. I kinda dislike how the... Yeah, here goes my... How many knives I have? Come on, do it again. Alright. Yeah. I'm back at the start. Okay. Oh, that was good. Definitely planned. Oh, there are so many goodies. I kind of like how this pass is just like misleading a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry. Grandma, are you okay? Yeah, you're not. Alright, they're just dropping. Yeah, wasn't quick enough for that. Oh, okay, there is... Actually, that's not a dead end. I'm just blind. Okay, the fact that the spawn doesn't stop, kinda... That was very convenient. Conveniently placed barrel. Okay. I feel kinda insulted even a little bit. How convenient it is. Oh my god! What is this aim? That's my last knife, I think. Am I just... Okay, I have axe. Yeah, this is... Okay, is it what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to like run away to that gate?
Out of the way.
Oh my god. Something just got destroyed. Okay, looks like this is the last one. And it look... Interesting how he lost the ability to throw dynamite. And he's like a snapped neck state. Yeah, I guess makes sense. Yeah, let's just use shotgun. Kinda neglected this big boy. This encounter. Maybe a bit unwisely. No, come on! Is it over? Yeah, I'm still not sure what that was, what that encounter was about. Was it about me opening that gate? Actually, no. There are people. There are still people. Someone's just like, where are you? Okay, yeah, I see you, Grandma. So it's not over. Yeah, the pacing is so weird in this encounter. Just like the moment I saw that this is the end. Actually, nope. Oh, that was good. I also forgot that there are parries in this game. Okay, I got I think the key for the gates that near the merchant. I try to parry him.
They keep coming.
Ah, all the precious eggs are getting wasted.
Not bad, right?
Okay, so we're escaping this place? Oh, okay, so we... Alright, I see. I was kind of like a little bit preoccupied with enemies in the area, so when I opened the gate I was like, which one I opened actually? And why did I do that? Why did I open that gate specifically? It was... Yeah, it was like such a weird arena. So, from the... Okay, let me... From that vantage point, right? Okay, yeah, the ladder. Thank God I can get to the beginning. I also grab these coins. So, from vantage point that serves as an intro, right, to this place, you can see enemies are present, and it's like one thing that is kind of touched upon very briefly, how the stealth system is. It's used like, I don't know. It feels like it's used for some, like, any time you see in a place, a sequence, a space inhabited by enemies that are unaware of your presence, and you have this idea forming in your brain, right? Okay, I can get stealthily behind this and kill at least a bunch of villagers. I can at least get a bunch of stealth kills, right? And then we'll see if it goes south. Every time, it's like there are like several instances of that happened, like during last stream too, when it looks to me like I can use stealth. I can actually use stealth as an option to handle the situation presented in front of me, but this is not the case. This is not the case at all. Actually, the moment you like step out of the vantage point, you're gonna get spotted immediately. And I don't, maybe there is an option for stealth, you should be like super careful, but the fact that like the moment I drop, the guy that spotted me on the right, he's obscured by this wall. It's very easy to just like miss his presence, right? And the moment I get out into this place, I get immediately spotted, and it feels so frustrating. It feels like in a meta way, sort of, the level designer is just fucking with me, like and not just level designer, but the whole like design direction in this game. It feels like it's about fucking this player. It's about like creating these expectations, like the very that are based on like on the modern design conventions that AAA video games operate on, and they're just subverting them in a very frustrating way. And I'm really not sure how to feel about it. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm quite confused about, is how, from this vantage point, it's not really clear what your goal is. Like, you can see the wolf that you need to interact with from this point, but it's like it's located in this, it's like a sideways, right? It's not even in front of your face. You can't, it's so easy to miss it, right? Because the focus that will be in the player's attention will be enemies first and foremost, and then something like in the middle, right? So I don't think they were kind of like expecting the player to get into the spot and be like, oh, this is a valve, I see it, this is where I need to go. And even if you see it, you don't necessarily know that you need to use it, because like there's no connection to what I'm using it to do. What's the problem, I'm trying to solve by getting to this. And it's a bit counterintuitive actually, right? I discovered this valve just by accident, because I just kind of was like gravitating towards this area that I initially thought was a dead end, which is a good, I think, example of how you should be very careful with presenting a player with like tactical options during a very stressful encounter, because a player's ability, like mental capacity, like attention, will be quite overloaded, and it's very easy for the player to miss, and it's like in a very hectic combat encounter, something that you try to present to them. So this is just a bit awkward, and it's also a bit counterintuitive, because like when I interacted with this wolf, I saw that the gate opened, but it opened from the direction that I came into this area. So I'm like, what exactly am I doing? I'm trying to escape, I guess. But that's also a bit weird, that I got into this place to escape out of this place, which kind of, I guess it's not entirely nonsensical, but still. But actual objective is this. How do you call this thing? Actually, I wonder in English that the thing that shows the direction of the wind. So this is our objective, because this is a like little altar or something, whatever you call it, has a key for the gate, right? And it's funny how I initially assumed that the gate was just like a shortcut, maybe, like basically a way to some optional area to explore. But it looks like actually the gate leads to critical fast. That's a part of the critical fast. And so this is our objective. This is the key. But again, you can't see the key from this point. You can't see shit, actually. There is not necessarily... There's a good chance the player, like 99% of players don't even notice it, right? So... Yeah, oh my god, this is so weird. Like this encounter is so weird. It feels like an encounter that was designed by, you know, following a very, again, the established modern design conventions. Like, okay, you have a new combat arena. How do you introduce the player to this combat arena? Well, you use a vantage point, right? That lets the player see the area, the big chunk of the area, see the enemy patrolling the area, and can so they can do a bit of planning. They can do of that and figure out what they want to do, how they want to approach this challenge, and also they can see they can also see from the vantage point like a nicely framed goal that they need to reach, and so they also will think about that. You know, that's like you can kind of see how this encounter is built by like contemporary, you know, design sensibilities, but also it just breaks everything. It's just like all the planning thing is just it almost, especially if you're if your planning involves stealth gameplay, it's almost immediately just thrown away. The goal presentation is just, it's non-existent basically. No one will notice this and pay attention to that. So it's so weird. And like the pacing too, like this, again, this like very obscure, like just confusing, constant enemy spawn where it's just like, and you keep fighting and you keep fighting and you just like, at a certain point you just wonder, is it going to end, or am I supposed to do something? Right? There's like very, it feels like it puts player into very reactive state of mind, right? Where you're just like, as you saw me, I'm just like, I felt like a rat in the maze, you know? I was reacting for the beginning, for a good chunk of the encounter, I was just reacting to the enemies spawning in the area. I had no idea, like, am I supposed to kill them? Or am I supposed to do something? Like, when I finally randomly noticed this place, I was still unsure. I was like, am I supposed to interact with this? Is it like the trigger that will end the encounter? Or no? And then when I did this, and I saw like, okay, am I done? I was like constantly second guessing myself. And then when I found out, actually, no, I'm not done. There are still enemies, like spawning in one or two quantities. And then like again, I'm like randomly stumbled upon this thing, and that I guess was the end. Like the trigger for encounter end. It's so like there is no deliberation almost, right? There's like there's no this kind of like a very common way to, you know, create a player's sort of mental state in video game. Like you present a player with a goal, right, that they need to reach, but there is an obstacle for them. So it's clear what the goal is, it's clear that what the challenge is, and so we give the player a time and place, you know, to observe and figure out what they need to do, and then they try to do it, and then like they execute the plan, and something goes wrong, they improvise, but they have like the goal, this like very deliberate state of mind of like, okay, I'm doing this in order to do that, right? It's I think like the good GDC presentation that was done on this topic was by Steve Lee from, well, he worked at Arcane at that point. He was like working on Dishonored 2 as a level designer, and he's like he had like a very good, I think, he had good presentation, kind of covering how Arcane, like one of the core pillars of Arcane design approach is be constantly making sure that the players is deliberate, like and conscious about their behavior. They're not just reacting to the sudden enemy presence. They're not just pressing levers in space because this is what you do in video games, right? Yeah, and not to say that this reactive gameplay is bad necessarily. I mean, I guess like a good example of very reactive driven, reactive based gameplay is slashers, right? Like Bayonetta or something, or you know, I almost said Resident Evil. Devil May Cry, which is, you can say it's, these games are connected, like literally connected historically, right, through development. But still, it's, I'll say that I did not enjoy that encounter. That encounter kind of wasn't messy, confusing, and in the end of the day, when it was over, I felt relief that it's like, finally I'm done with this. I can move on, you know, which is, I don't think is a good feeling, or like the intended, you know, feeling. Okay, let's go back. Let's upgrade the knife. It's the only thing that I'm looking forward to. Upgrading the knife. Right, we're back.
Oh, break's over, I suppose. Welcome. What can I interest you in?
Yeah, let's repair
Good luck
it.
to you, stranger.
I don't really think I want to buy anything else.
All my wares are in tip-top shape, I assure you.
I know in this game that, yeah, this is like the bolt thrower is pretty good weapon, quite essential, since you can retrieve bolts that you shot as a way to save resources. So I guess I am kind of plan to buy this quick as possible.
Don't get yourself
Maybe.
killed now.
All right. Oh my god. What? Oh. Ah. What an interesting contraption. A very, very Resident Evil like. And there's another gate. You said it was over? Nope, but there's another gate with another lock. I'm kind of disappointed there is no second lock. That would be great. Man, look at these sexy concrete ruins. This is beautiful state of decay. Exposed pillars. Okay, can I get some stealth skills, please? Are you letting me finally kill someone stealthily, game? Oh my, you piece of... You, yeah, just fucking... I'm running away.
Sorry, must have slipped.
You... What a piece of shit. Let's practice some parrying. Oh my god, you're still... Man, this is just... This is... You are... Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on this. You know, I can appreciate a good level designer joke. You know, I can appreciate when the level designer does a joke, even a bit of a, you know, at my expense. I didn't mind that, but if you do it in moderation, and if you do it, it's, yeah, this is just, yeah, this is like literally bad level design, in my opinion, because I feel bad right now. I forgot how to disarm these. What? Why are you climbing this, Leon? Are you in the mood? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's interesting. There's like a different way to... For a second I thought I could interact with this. Okay, alright. A little exploration area. No, what's this? Resources. Good enough. I like this. I like this little exploration area that can be accessed only through crouching. A little bit of reinforcement of not like very oftenly used mechanic. Yeah, so I assume you can, if you go on the left, you can like ambush kill this guy, right? Stealth, and then kill that one. So it's not entirely impossible, but it's just, oh, one of these guys activated their bear trap. Fucking dummies. It's so funny how also like this is in such a close proximity to the merchant. I was just like, it's so close to the like safe area, right? It's just literally like there are gates and behind them there are like a bunch of enemies already present. So I'm kind of, I assume the enemies just ignore the merchant completely, since he's kind of like fenced off a little bit, right? By like, crates or something. The ropes. Showing off is your like is it like a close physics, I wonder? It looks okay. Not gonna say impressed. But it creates some, you know, I guess it adds some dynamism. Dynamic to the scene. Oh yeah, I also forgot that these guys, I can shoot the crows, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not killing animals for money. I'm not a monster. Or maybe I am! Oh, that's some... No, that's just some money. Yeah, so there's like some ammo. You know, it's so weird, so like interesting how the depiction of gore, corpses, bones, skulls is just, it's so over present in video games, right? That it just, I feel like, at least I am personally like very what's the word? Oh my god, I what's the word? Like descent. I got very unsensitive to that. Okay. Unperceptive. Holy shit, I'm just like, my English is breaking in real time. It's just, whenever, especially like in Souls games, for example, that comes to my mind. It's just, there are so many environments where it's just like, you're literally walking on the floor made of corpses and bones. Or like, actually, an example from my career as a game developer, one of the maps in World War Z, it is like a zombie third-person co-op shooter, kind of like Left 4 Dead. One of the maps I worked on, like I think it was the second map I worked on, it was like set in the city where like a military, the army is fighting against zombies. And so one of the scenes that I wanted kind of player to move through was like literally like a core, like an area that is just where like literally a mountain of corpses is present, because there was like a swarm of zombies that got like destroyed by got like bombed, killed by army. And so I was like, yeah, oh man, let's make this. Let's let player like move through this area and they can see this like fucking floor made of fucking bodies of zombies, and it would be so great. And it's just, and I remember like the moment that they actually, it was done, right? It was the artist put it into the level, the asset. I had like zero emotions. I was just like, yeah, that's like a pile of corpses. Okay. And it was so underwhelming, so disappointing. How like in my mind I was like, oh my god, it was such a memorable area. You know, it would be genius. What is it called, genius loci? I probably misspelled it. The term that means like spirit of the place, like from Rome or something. That refers to like qualities of space that make it distinct and memorable. Right, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be it. And then I was just like, the moment that actually the pile of corpses was made and put into the level, I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of okay. It's like it's just, I think we got, the games are oversaturated, right, with violence and violent depiction of all sorts of things. And I don't mean it in the sense that video games make us violent, right? But I think there is definitely some truth to the fact that like when the medium is constantly presenting a certain violent imagery. What's the difference between image and imagery? I'm actually not sure. But anyway, you get used to it. And it is on some levels a little bit, at least sad, but also you can say a little bit alarming, you know, not in a sort of a Doom creates school shooters sort of alarming, but yeah. Anyway. Ah, yes, I killed the crow to get some coins. Oh, I remember this. I've seen video about this puzzle. So basically the way it works is that you need to shoot this plank. What's happening? I hear a chainsaw. Did I just aggro someone? Okay, I did not expect that to happen, but anyway, it looks like they're staying in one place. Yeah, this is like a puzzle where you need to shoot this pearl pendant. But the trick is, if you shoot it without destroying the plank first and like covering the well, the shit well with this piece of wood, the treasure will fall into the shit and you cannot retrieve it, I think. I don't know exactly. It's like it's a bit of a, it's basically like punishing you for not destroying the plank first, which is where did you come from, you? Anyway, I'm surprised I missed it completely. So it's, I don't know how I feel about that. It's very, again, it's so, again, it's like it exists in the domain of level design fuckery, you know. It's just like in a video game where it's, you don't really use, I mean, it happens from time to time. Well, Resident Evil 4 is not really a game that relies often on like conscious environment, you know, manipulation, right? Like environment destruction, right? It's not really a thing that, honestly, if I didn't watch the video, I would just skip it. I would just shoot the treasure, right? Because the game didn't build the sort of, I didn't eternalize that. There are actually elements in the environment that I can, you know, destroy that are not like highlighted with, clearly with like yellow stripes or something. So this is the thing that exists for me in the domain of like level design fuckery, basically. It's just you, a level designer, putting something that is highly probable that will just fuck the player up, you know. And that's basically it. Okay, Chainsaw Man. I've been waiting for you. Actually, I wasn't. I wasn't waiting for you. Oh, hello, zombie. Is it a? Oh my! Where did? What is this back spawning? What are you? What are you doing? Okay. Did the guy just killed? The poor woman, the poor grandma. Kill this one for me. I'll be honest, I don't want to deal with these guys. Is it some? It's like a guy, the emoji, or like I'm sorry, it's emote on Twitch. It's like a. Okay. Iframes for me, not for you, or something. Yeah. Can I don't remember, can I mix it? No, I can't. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I got punished, so it's alright. I try to, there was a bear trap that's activated, someone activated. Let's just go this way. What? I cannot go this way, okay. Why all these bear traps are activated? Stupid. Okay, oh god. Okay, that's the second one? Second? No. No, he's not falling for it this time. No, nope. No, you got snapped to it. Yeah, the game is rigged, buddy. And not in your favor. Okay, I'm just yeah, that's it's kinda entertaining. Okay, that's the next one. Where is the next bear trap? Can I go this way? Yeah, I can. Good. Okay, I know that there's a guy inside because I saw a video. It's like a supposedly like a toilet zombie or something. Okay. Can the Chainsaw Man get into the house? That's the question. Yeah, that's a cool house. So anyway, can I open it now? Yeah, I can. All right. Yeah, this guy cannot enter the house. Okay, that was an encounter. Small key for something that... Okay, alright. Yeah, that was... I really dislike this back spawning. Especially the fact that these guys, like the grandma and the grandpa, they just came out of nowhere, right? Without any sound cue. At least I missed it, and I think it's very easy to miss for most of the players. It's the back spawns in this game is they're just considering the fact that enemies like every hit that you receive is just it's important. It's like it's significant, right? It hurts a lot to get hit in this game, right? The enemies can grab you, and in that instance, if I got grabbed, I could like easily die from the chainsaw, I think. And because of that, like the receiving accidental hint from enemies in this game is so punishing. The cost, the punishment is very strong. That I feel quite strongly against this kind of spawn, this kind of approach to like silently spawning enemies behind you, especially since I came through the area where there were no enemies, right? That area in my mind was clear, right? And safe, and suddenly betraying this, reasonably built, perception is just, man, I don't know, it's so weird. It's like the stream kind of started on a bad note. Like, it's so weird how people, it's like this game is praised, right? It's an iconic game that is praised for its encounter design. But the encounters, like, a lot of the encounters, they just like so messy, so frustrating, not in a good way to move through, and like the way they're structured is just this thing that kind of makes it work is the combat system, because like the combat system, like the core gameplay loop is just so satisfying. It's tense in a good way. It's like it's visceral in a good way, right? It's the mechanics, the way, again, like the fact, the melee, the standing the enemy and then moving in close range to like kick them is just mechanic. It's like it's so satisfying to fight enemies. But the encounters themselves, the way they're like structured is just, yeah, I don't know. It's like the way, the big, I think, way that I feel like I can describe them is just they're confusing and messy. That's 2 words, not 1. But yeah, this one was mildly entertaining because I kind of consciously decided to just like ignore this guy and like fuck around, and I didn't find out, thankfully. The bear traps were like so confusing. How like there were like a bunch of bear traps that were activated for some reasons, like back in the area that I think there were no enemies, but some of the bear traps were not active, or like actually, well, I guess, or like active actually, like, and I could use them against the chainsaw guy. That was that was entertaining for obvious reasons, using the environment hazards against the enemy. That was fun, surely, but I feel like this is the fan that you kind of just I received by not acting in the way that the player is supposed to act. This is how it feels. Okay, I'm in the house. Like, what am I doing exactly? I found the key. Like, my objective is to head for the church. Okay. It's like a little stop. Can I open it? Okay, it's a puzzle that involves like pigs, chalice. Is it like grape branch or something? So I wonder if I'm supposed like to look for the clues in the house. Maybe on the upper floor. Okay, we got the checkpoint. Okay, alright, so this is the key to the puzzle, it looks like. Illuminados. In great veneration of their master, the people offered up their most prized possessions. The old farmer, his finest crop, the slight swineherd, his stoutest pig, the beggarly grandam, her own beloved babe. The master saw these gifts in one's place. So, crop, pig, and babe. I think this is the answer. I'm not sure what the babe refers to. To the chalice? So the crop. Okay, no, there are more. Pig. No, it's not a pig. This is a pig. Baby? Yeah. Still marble. Okay, that was quite easy. Alright, someone is displeased with me solving this puzzle. Okay. Oh, did they come from the toilet? Yeah, they did, it looks like. I think this is the guy. The way this toilet paper holder is you know, shining, like for a second I thought I could interact with it. I was like, wait, what? I can interact with toilet paper? It reminds me that in the original there is this, like, the line that Leon says. I don't know if it's in this house, in this toilet, how, you know, how like, oh, these people actually have toilet and like and sewage or something like this. It looks they're not that different from us or something. The line, it's so silly how it's like he's amazed by like the villagers having like a toilet or something. I'll say that this is a fancy toilet. It's very village like, right? But I really like the tiles, the pattern. It's very noble for like a toilet box, you know. Also, the shiny toilet paper holder. It's like an in golden color. It's just like, yeah. It's honestly, it's feels kind of weird even, like this juxtaposition of such a fancy elements is like this otherwise like a very primitive shitty toilet. The lamp too, like look at this lamp, it's a beautiful lamp. Yeah, I feel kind of, it feels like the whoever built this toilet, the villager, or probably it's not the villager, it's like maybe like some local businessman or something, like a rich farmer or something, I don't know. They wanted to make a very luxurious toilet, you know, but because they're a farmer and the luck, the artistic sensibilities, this is like what they came up with. Yeah, I think this is what happened. All right, still a really nice toilet, very comfy. Okay, what's next? Oh, I completely missed this door. Okay, so this is why we need to. Looks like I need to match it. This is so weird. Am I doing something wrong? I feel like I'm matching it. I assume I'm supposed to match it, whatever. No? Okay, I did. Orb. Duck orb. Yeah. That's a cute emote. Yeah, it's like, man, it's a cool lock, you know, and the door, like, oh my god, look at this ornamentation, like, man, this is just like such a show off, you know, the person who lives here. Such a big contrast, right, with all the environments, all the shitty houses that we encountered earlier. Insignia key. I'm finally getting the keys. Oh, the cutscene. Okay, this is important key. This is your house, buddy. Don't throw me, please.
The blood has accepted the gift.
Thank you, Ada, I guess. What a Giga Chad, just comes in, kicks our ass and leaves, you know.
Blood?
Oh, that was chapter end? Okay, I did not. Alright. That was kind of unexpected. Okay. Man, I feel like I just missed something, right? There was like items in the room that I missed. Well, man, I hope I am continuing where I ended, you know? It was very nice too, considering you shot him. I mean, it looks like he built so different that shooting him just literally has like no effect. So I guess he's just like, he doesn't mind. It's like tickles or something.
Bruce to Condor 1. I've got
Okay,
that
yeah,
intel
I'm
you
back.
requested on
Yeah.
Louis Serra. It seems he used to be a researcher for Umbrella.
Umbrella? I should have left him in that bag to rot.
I'm sending you the details. Take a look, but Baby Eagle is your priority.
Baby
Copy that.
Eagle.
Making my way to the church.
Okay, so
Condor 1, out.
looks like some time has passed out, right? The lighting is different. What does it mean? Like Leon decided to take a nap? You're like, why did the time pass so dramatically? I mean, I understand him. I would look at this bed and I'm like, yeah, I want to sleep here. Even all the shit that happened to me, even so I can get like ambushed again. Yeah, I'm sleeping here. Still, it was rude of you to shoot him. I mean, it's Leon. It's like he's not very cultured individual when it comes to interacting with local cultures, you know, that are different from American ones. So we can cut him some slack, I think. Village Records, Volume 3. Date October 10. The weather has been strange of late. The wheat withers and the cows grow thin. I'm not sure about that. The cows looked very healthy to me. I don't know what you're talking about. There are signs of famine. It is true, we lack the means to work the fields, but Lord Sadler's orders are absolute. 30 people have starved to death. Five cows will be slaughtered. It was January 30. Then there is March 11. The patriarchs gathered to cast lots. 6 more chosen for Lord Sadler. Okay, some sacrifice was happening. April, 8 more today. And then we have no dates, but we said they sacrifice 4 more, and then 11 more. And then, why did you stop recording the date, buddy? It's so special. It's so funny how, like, from the way the UI text displays it, it looks like whoever was writing this, they decided to write date, but they didn't write the date. Like, why? Like, it's like, imagine you're like doing the diary recording and just like, I'm going to write date. I'm not going to write which date. Like, what is happening here? Is it like the sign of them being like succumbing to the like parasites, becoming deranged or something? 2 outsiders got lost and wandered into the village. We took them to the altar for the ritual. No need to cast lots today. Okay, maybe actually I remember a woman being like sacrificed, right, in the first cutscene. Maybe it was one of them. Yeah, that was interesting. What is the year that this game takes in? I feel like it's like the beginning of like 2000s at least, right? Probably. It's just, I kind of wonder, like, since we know that this is like this, the events take place in Spain, right, in some Spanish rural area, was like a famine, like a real problem at that time in Spain? I kind of curious about it. I kind of feel skeptical about that, but anyway, it's, yeah. What am I thinking about? Buddy, it's Resident Evil. Chill. Oh, I guess you can maybe you can speculate that the evil cult like fucked up the crops, like, or something like this on purpose. So this is how famine was like basically fabricated. I guess that's like one way to explain it. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm getting out. Chainsaw guy.
You too, huh?
Oh, I remember this. Poor Dogo. Oh, was that a wolf? Is it a wolf? Are you a wolf? Can I kill you? Oh my god, why did I even think about that? Buddy, you're getting out of here. It looks like a wolf, right? Very handsome wolf.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
I spoiled this moment, but I didn't spoil. There is some sort of something is going to happen, some sort of reward, I assume. But I don't know what exactly. So I'm kind of intrigued. Yeah, it was a nice, optional encounter. It's again a bit out of your line of sight, right? It's behind the house, but I think the sound cues are doing like a very good, like a navigational help. That there is a doggo somewhere and it's in pain. You should probably check it out. So I assume a lot of players who weren't familiar with this encounter, they probably find it out. What I like about this encounter too is how it's very unexpected, right? It's like I think it's unique. It's like one time. It happens like once in the whole game, where you can just like randomly save a wolf, that got stuck in a bird trap. Yeah, so that's really nice. I like that games do that. Something that it breaks the pattern. It's unexpected and it doesn't form the pattern, right? Also, it's kind of funny how it looks like we saw that we activate all the bear traps, right? Some of them were activated before, some we used to lure the chainsaw man in. So I wonder, like, someone put another bear trap while we're in the house. And it's, yeah, I'm curious. I wonder, was it the chainsaw man? He was like so pissed at us. He decided like, I'm going to put another bear trap so you could fall into it or something. Yeah, that's like, this is what I would like to think about it, like a seizing chainsaw guy. Will the wolf help you later though? This is what I'm thinking about. I feel like maybe there'll be like cutscene or something where the wolf comes in and like kills a guy for us or something. It's so funny how in this is like the lock screen where you have like when you have several keys, like the menu allows you to click on the key, the wrong key, but then it won't allow you to use it, right? So like, why make it active? Like, why make the wrong key active at all? Just make it inactive. Just highlight and make make interactable only like the correct key. If you're not even letting me to use the incorrect one, what's happening here? You're just wasting my precious clicks. Be consistent with this. I'll be honest, I completely missed this gate. Like I mean, it makes sense why I missed the gate. I was running from Chainsaw. But I guess their intention was that the idea, like in terms of like order of, you know, presentation of like gates and keys, the idea I guess was you kill the chainsaw guy before, then you come here, you see the door, you try to open it, you cannot. Then you move further, you see the gate. You try to open it, you see that it cannot, you need the key, and then you kind of like figure out that, okay, yeah, this is like my goal that I need to reach. I missed it completely because I was fucking around, but yeah, it's fine. Oh, this is dark. I like it. Well, actually, I guess it's not really dark anymore. Hello. The running animation was funny. Oh, is it the wolf? I hear that I saved earlier. Oh, I'm back to the village, right? I think. Again, I can hear someone. Yeah, I'm back to the village. Okay, and I'm back to the church. All right, so I returned through the other gate. It looks like. Oh, I'm actually literally back to the start. Yeah, this is the beginning. Oh, I like this. I like how we return to this area, and the time of day is different now, giving it, you know, a new look, new feeling to this space. Also, the context is different, right? Now it's like, it's very desolate. I mean, you can hear someone is... I don't even know if I can reach this. I'm just killing birds for the sake of killing them. What? Okay, alright, it's the dogos. I kind of want to get into the house. Can I get into the house, please? I can't get into the house. Oh, I guess... oh, sure, I'll open up this Vintage compass? Oh, I can sell it. All right, so it's like a treasure that I can sell. An old-fashioned compass that has been kept in good condition for selling only. I like that the game like explicit tells you what's the point of that. Okay, I escaped, but I don't think I can. Can I use stealth? I'm curious. No, I guess I don't. And you're also dodging. Of course you're dodging, you piece of shit. Because you're so smart as a dog, you can understand that I'm pointing a gun at you. And I'm going to shoot. You're so smart. That was such a weird intro to the dogs, right? Maybe I should switch to the shotgun. You know what? I'm not a coward. I'm going to face you. Where are you? Where did you disappear? Yeah. Come in. Man, you have a lot of teeth. Okay. Are we done? Are we over? Alright, that was kind of nice. A good introduction. Okay, it's not over. Of a new enemy. Very dramatic with the fall of the tower. Not really sure what that was about, but overall, like it was a very. It looks like this is the enemy. You know the enemy that reminds me of the Dead Space 2. There was like a dinosaur-esque necromorph that was very sneaky. It was like constantly running, sort of. It like the way it would work. The way it works, it's like it keeps the distance, right? This enemy in Dead Space 2, like from you, and it's kind of like hides behind the geometry. It keeps a distance, and you can see it, you can hear it, and you can see it like sneaking, like literally like poking its head at you, which is super creepy, and I like it. Like I like how they do it. And then at a certain point, when they like, what do you call it? There's like a term for this that like that wolf. I think it can be used like the way wolves hunt the other animals, you know, like the first step of the hunt is just like when you like exhaust, like mentally exhaust the prey or something like this. And I think the like the inspiration was like actually the wolves for these enemies, and so here we have like a similar pattern. And maybe I don't know if in the original these enemies behave in a similar way, and then maybe they're like actually like the Resident Evil 4 was inspiration for Dead Space, that Space enemy. But yeah, we have this like a very nice tense encounter with enemies that are not like immediately run at you, right? But rather keep distance, don't attack for some time. Again, show themselves for some time, then hide again. So that was nice. That was like actually a good encounter, I think. A good intro and a good encounter overall. So now we need to find like another way to the church, right? Okay, someone just spawned. Grandma, what are you doing? Come on, I can see you. It's... You know how I praised this game in the beginning? How I just I love the enemy design in this game. How like normal villagers, right? Well, they're not exactly normal, but they're more or less normal villagers. Like feel surprisingly fresh as an enemies, like in action game like Resident Evil. And one of the things that I like about them is how they look, how they constantly talk, right? They have constant bark at you, and they maintain for the most part this image of like a bit deranged but still human beings, right? And this is when stuff like this happens, when you can it unfortunately breaks this perception a bit, right? When you can see clearly that they just a level designer put this enemy here for them to ambush the player, and that's it. Like this is literally what's happening. It's not like this grandma is actually like trying to ambush me, right? They're like because they're not really hiding. They're just standing in such a way that it's like very easy for them to attack, to do the surprising attack on the player. Yeah, and that's just like, it's just sad. Also, I can hear the, yeah, I can see the. Oh, is it the defense of the house sequence? I think, or maybe not. Maybe it's just. Let's barricade the window just in case. I think that the game lets us do that. Oh, first aid spray ammo. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. One thing that also sticks out quite a bit is how the bear traps make sense, right? It's a village. There are hunters, and it looks like there are actually a lot of hunters in this village. So it makes total sense that they use bear traps against you. But these like well, I guess it is kind of like very primitive, like a mine. Right, it's just like a box with a bunch of dynamite sticked into it, but it's like the laser, right? I think like what actually is just really breaks the whole like a bunch of villagers are fighting against you sort of fiction is like it's like a laser mine, you know. This kind of like technology is just like what? How these guys are doing that? I like. They're getting like sponsored by someone. Someone provides them the equipment, something. Yeah, it's. So anyway, what our options are? It looks like it is one of the options. The entrance is a bit obscured, right? You can see just a little bit the light leaking out. So there's another house that I can break the lock, right? And then there is. Okay, yeah, this is collapsed. So I wonder, can I go this way? Okay, it's not. All right, I'm an idiot. It's not laser. It's a wire, right? But I mean, again, still the mechanism, right? There's like the electronic devices that triggers when the wire is touched. It's still quite dense, and it's literally attached to nothing. I mean, it is attached like technically to this like a wood plank, wood pillar support, but it's like literally there's nothing that attaches to. Hello, Grandma. Any pirushkis for me? Actually, how do you say that in English? How do you call them? Okay, get in. I can't melee you while you're outside. Oh, he even. Something grandpa has. It's like a food that grandma cooks. Let me show you. It's like a very common. I don't know. Can you call it dish? Let me Google it. I'm kind of curious how you call it in English. Пирожки. Wait, wait a second. It's innate. Okay, I'll show you. No. I'll show. Give me a second. Window. This is what this is what I'm talking about. It's like a dough, cooked dough that has meat inside. It's like it depends actually. The inside can be quite different. It can be stuffed with meat, mushrooms, rice, onions, potatoes too. Yeah, it's one of the like very common things that you can. It's like a stereotypical food that grandmas cook. The Russian page has a better pictures. Yeah, this is the look. A pie? I guess it makes sense. I guess you can call it a pie, like a mini pie, something. Actually, there is a word, right? In English, pierogi or something. Actually, it's not an English. Is it an English word or not? I don't remember. Because in Russian there is the word like literally it means like pirog, which is like actually a pie. And I think like I've seen the English word that it's literally the same. It's kind of like a pasty that we have in the UK. Pasty? Okay, now I want to Google it again. Pasty. Oh! Okay, listen, your version of this looks better. Okay, that looks a little bit more, it looks cooler at least. Like the shape, like the edge, how it's a bit like stylized. If I'm looking at the right thing. Let me show you. Damn it, it's so hard to operate the OBS. Wait, it doesn't. That's weird. It doesn't even let me. God damn it. Like it's such a boomer at this moment. Yeah, I'm talking about this. Is it what you're talking about? Looks very. Maybe I should look at this kind of food at this time because I'm gonna get hungry very quickly. Okay, alright. It's got meat and potatoes. It started a circle. All right, yeah, yeah. It basically sounds like what we have. It just looks cooler. Originally, there would be some fruit down one, like a pudding. Well, actually, in the Russian, the pirozhki, they can be also they can be like a dessert. You can stuff them with fruits too, like berries, whatever, to make them sweet, basically. You can put anything that you want. Okay, what happened? Yeah. Oh yes, yeah. We need to get to the church. I killed the grandma. All right. All right. So that looks like actually, yeah. It looks like. Oh, time for another stealth kill. Oh, there's going to be someone like waiting for me. I'm just like I'm sure there's like a guy standing on the right, and like the moment I try to kill the poor granny with the kitchen knife, I'm gonna get ambushed. Okay, that's kind of disappointing, actually. Alright. I'm sorry. I have to do this. It's such a weird, like, random event, you know? Like, the tower collapse. It's like, why would this, who did this, who exploded it, right? It's so weird. It's like they wanted somehow, right? They wanted to tunnel player like in a very like linear fashion to the church, but because it's an open area that you can't do this, so like they were thinking about this, and then at certain point that like one of the people in the meeting room, they like decided to, they brainstormed that, okay, how about we just blow up the tower and make it like fall and obstruct the view, the pass. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, that actually that works kind of, and they rolled with it. I don't know if it's from original. It feels like from the original because it's like it has like this bizarre, bit of a bizarre, nonsensical quality to it, you know, that you don't really expect from AAA game these days. Anyway, let's finally get into the church. Oh, look at this, the fog. Very moody. I like it. I really like in video games. It's like very. What? Are you serious? And I just took it. I took the whole body of the stick. Okay, this is kind of funny. This is kind of cool. Yeah, how about a sudden snake encounter? I'm sure you didn't expect that one. Yeah, so as I was mentioning that I really like this very expressive, exaggerated fog, you know, like localized fog that is just like this is like what is happening here, right? It's like it's some sort of magic ritual or something. But it looks great. I like it. The person who put this fog, they are the big fan. I'm sure they're really into this sort of fog too. They're like they decided to put their soul into this room. You know, I can feel the passion. Are these physics? No, they're just static stuff. Static skulls. Oh, the main villain of the game. Looking fancy. Okay, this is a giant skull. And honestly, man, I like it. I mean, again, I'm spoiled. I know that there are giant enemies in this game. So I guess I know what the skull, like, who the skull belongs to, but as a player who's unaware, right, of this like enemy being present in the future, it's like such a great, little scenery, to throw at them. Like, now that this is actually cool, like a giant skull covered in this clothes in a very mysterious way, right? Like, there's something like sticking out of the skull that you're not really sure what exactly it is. There's like a element of mystery to it. So that's cool. It's cool skull. I like it. Illuminados 4-9. Sleep well and flourish, dear child. As your body grows, your mothers shall sew new small clothes. At 7 quintal of wheat and half of a bull a day, you have outgrown your pen. Flourish, dear child, for the sake of your brothers and sisters who cannot. Does it refer to these like big guys? I think this is what they hint at. Imagine lying down on this floor. Imagine like being just enveloped by this fog. Damn. This is the fantasy that I want to experience. Yeah. I mean, granted, the floor is a little bit dirty and there are like skulls laying around, but still. This carpet, like, yeah, this carpet looked comfy enough. Okay, why did I just pick up? I didn't even. Okay, yeah, I picked up the spray and something else. All right. Hello, merchant. Merchant tip: the prudent choice. Sick of constantly running out of ammo? Well, how I got a treat for you. The bolt thrower is something else, mate. Its bolts can be retrieved and reused. I know this already. Yeah. Okay, then that's not at all. That's not all. You can affix the bolts with attachable mines, proximity explosives, to quickly turn the weapon into a powerful mine thrower. Shoot an enemy to see them explode instantly on surfaces at the proximity mine. You'll use a bolt if you do that. Okay, so that's cool.
I've got some new items in stock. Come take a look.
And this purple fire is so goofy.
Welcome. I've got something new for you, man.
Okay, let's sell. Okay, a bunch of treasures.
Won't do you much good in the grave.
True. Key items that no longer serve a purpose can be sold to the merchant. That's kind of cool. Yeah, let's just sell everything. It's not Dark Souls. I can't really lose my money. I really like how the game tells you explicitly that this item can be sold only, right? And this item actually can be used for some interactions. Okay, I can actually like kill a bunch of snakes, it looks like.
Time is money, mate.
Yeah, let's sell.
A deal well struck.
I kind of want to increase.
Your weapons are in good hands.
Or maybe I should actually
I'll
buy
see
the
you
weapon.
right.
Discounts only
Why
valid
not
during the
try your
chapters.
hand at a new gun, stranger?
Oh, they even give me a discount. They really want me to have this bolt thrower. It's so interesting. It's like they push it so much into your face. Like, hey, they show you the note literally that says, "Hey, but did you know that bolt thrower? It's a very useful weapon." Then And as if it's not enough, they give you the discount like a moment later when you actually interact with merchant. Okay, I'll do this game.
Not only will you need cash, but you'll need guts to buy that weapon.
Oh, I also like how they show that I have no space for like a item.
That cash in your pocket information.
Let's get a recipe for
is a
bolts
commodity these days.
and flash grenades.
Knowledge is power. Remember that, mate.
And let's just tune maybe the durability of the knife.
We're starting to get an idea of your tastes, friend.
Actually,
Anything
also
else I
let's
can help
repair
you
it.
A well-tuned weapon
Doesn't look
can
like it's
make up
actually
for a
looks okay
lack
to
of
me.
skill,
So
friend.
maybe
Come back any
there's no
time.
need for it for now. Okay, so we have another one of those. Yeah, this is the request for killing Vipers. That I will
Look,
probably
something's
fail.
bound to catch your eye.
I'm definitely not in the mood for like searching for like easily skippable objects in the environment. Okay. This is really cool corridor and very moody. Candles, the time of day. The way it's like the trees create a ceiling sort of. Very intimate. Ah, a nice reveal of the. Is it like a? Is it cathedral? Looks like cathedral, right? Like a church. Right.
Church. I made it.
And the camera even moves a little bit for us, like automatically. Okay, I can see the grave tender, or whatever they're called. Let's break this crate first. Gunpowder. What? This what was that? What was he doing? Like this guy was just like sitting here. He was like crouching or something. It was like an ambush. It was supposed to be an ambush, but because I was like I was crouching too, he didn't notice me. That was so weird. It was like such a weird encounter. I feel like it's supposed to be an ambush, like another example of like instance of enemy just like suddenly attacking you, fucking with you, level designers fucking with you. But thankfully it ended up playing out in our favor. Okay, next is this guy. Look for bear traps. I can hear the doggos. And I really love sound design in this game, how actively they use it to like immediately give, well, I know immediately, but in general constantly give players cues for as they like navigate the environments. Wait a second, am I just mistaking crows for dogs? Yeah, I think they're just like crows making like creepy sounds. Or like rather creepy crow sounds, noises, whatever. Can I enter it? Oh, okay, that's kind of surprised. Well, there is another gate.
Damn it. Condor 1 to Roost. The church is sealed up.
And Baby Eagle?
Negative. Nothing yet. But they sure do have this place locked up tight.
I see. I can think of one reason they'd want to do so.
Oh, she's here. That's for sure. I'll find a way in. Condor 1, out.
Alright, we need to find the missing piece for the gate. Got it. On the right and on the left. Is there something behind? Nope. I'm curious if I missed something in the cemetery. I feel like there will be another encounter when we return to this place. It's like it's very open, right? It's interconnected. There are different paths you can take. Definitely feels like a significant compass space to me. So I feel like we're not done with the cemetery yet. Okay, looks like our only way to go through these gates. Let's first break some crates. Oh, actually, no, there's another pass. Can I even take these gates? Nope, closed. Alright. Okay, I can see the ladder. Treasures. Those traitorous twins should not be allowed to rest in peace for joining that evil cult. On someone, anyone destroy the emblems engraved upon the tombstones. Destroy the tombstone emblems. Oh, okay, so it's like another quest where we need to to find specific items and shoot them, like the blue medallions that made me that drove me insane last time. Let's try to do them. I think I've seen actually something. In this case, I'm kind of a bit more optimistic because the object that you need to search for is clear, right? You need to look for tombstones, basically. So it gives you a very clear direction. Oh. Am I breaking the correct ones? Or I'm just being a vandalizing tombstone for no good reason. Well, the game doesn't tell me anything, so I assume I'm not really doing anything.
Okay.
That's it? Really? Okay. That was so easy compared to the blue medallion quest. This feels like the first request of that time that should have been introduced to me, not the blue medallion version.
So that's a request done and dusted, eh? Good stuff, mate. Well, look at you, mate. Ooh, what you buying?
Okay.
Come back anytime.
I also like how it's in very close proximity to the merchant, right? Very conveniently placed request, and plus I can run again through this beautiful corridor. So that's definitely, this is a true reward for me to enjoy this environment once again. And the mood of this space is it's so good. how desolate everything. This I don't even sure what time of day it is. This is like early morning, I think. Doesn't feel like evening to me. Maybe it is like an evening. All right, let's use that ladder. A flash grenade. Is it a dead end? Really? Okay. It's a bit unexpected. Damn, that looks like a way for me to go through. That I can like destroy these barrels. I don't like it. It's visual ambiguity. Okay, so the ladder turned out to be a bit of a red herring? Or did I miss something? I feel like this is the path for me to go. I'm not blind, right? There's no like way for me to... I'm not using this moment to stare at Leon's ass. I promise. Okay, so this is not the way to go. Now I'm a little bit confused. Oh, okay, this is... Wow, this is a very sneaky door they decided to place. Right? I mean, it is kind of in your view, it's kind of in your line of sight, you can notice it, but yeah, I skipped it completely. Like, my attention was on this, right, on this path framed with this arch. So I feel like it's done a bit on purpose, that you're kind of like the layout incentivizes you a bit and like pushes you more into like exploration first. And then going through the critical pass, because this is definitely like it's more like enticing way for you to go, right? It's so enticing that I completely like missed the door, and it is kind of it's actually, as even if you like if you stop a bit early, you don't even see the door at all, right? It's yeah. Alright, what's this? Lots of interactable items. Photo of Ashley. Oh, okay, can I look behind? Nothing. Can't open this one. Lakeside map. A past what? What is this word? Froze? No, not the froze. From the outside has come for the girl, lock her in the church and await orders from our Lord. Until then, keep your church door shut. The key will be held in the cave on the other side. What is this writing? This is like, it's like the idea that it's like the text is muddied partially and Leon can't really, oh man, it's like what was that? That was a weird yeah, that's the monster will deal with the foolish intruder. Yeah, that's funny.
Lake. Let's hope for no more surprises.
What's like think about it. Why it's basically like a letter, right? Like an instruction to someone. Like, why would you write it on the map of the area like this? Like, who communicates like this? What is it? They're like an ancient, primitive, like person who like uses the like pieces of wood that scratches like letters on them as a means to communication. Like, what is going on here? What are silly people? Okay, what's here? Oh my! Look at this. Look at this basement. Just reflective. Can I open it now? Yep, I can. That's a shortcut. Okay, got it. Yeah, that was kind of nice. I like a. It was a bit unexpected, the route that we took to get behind the gate. So that was nice little surprise, like a tunnel underneath the church. Definitely like a good mini example of, not mini, just example of like a traversal through the environment that is like engaging and like or entertaining, you know, intriguing and so on, right? When the way the new spaces are introduced to you, they're like surprising on their own and spice the navigation, the traversal. What? How did that happen? And you're going to jump, buddy? Are you like? How did you not? Also, this barrel again. Okay, that did not work out as... How did you hit me? Did you just literally through a... Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, I need to finish this one. Let's heal. I have no green herbs. That's kind of weird and awkward a little bit. Yeah, that was a bit messy, and mostly because I just suck. So. Oh, the snake! Oh my god, the fucking snake was walking in tandem with this guy. Where are you? Huh? I am... Yeah, I'm just shooting you. Okay. Alright. Oh, that looks like the view of the area that we will get to later. A bit of a foreshadowing. Ah, yes, of course. And it... Okay, they didn't hit me, surprisingly. Man, just stop. Come on. What is this? It's a narrow corridor. It's very uncomfortable for me to... Where do you... Okay, I'm just... Okay, there is someone... Okay, there's another grandma. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked this particular encounter, how the guy was like almost immediately throws the Molotov cocktail at you the moment you climb, which is can definitely, if you get hit, I miraculously didn't get hit a single time, but if you get hit, it's it definitely would be very frustrating, I think, for a player. But at the same time, it's very tight, kind of like a test, right? A reaction test that you, like in a very narrow corridor, you need to be on your toes, right, and be able to like react immediately to this guy throwing the Molotov cocktail. So that was a nice little tense moment that can still feel for some people quite unfair, I can imagine. And overall, this encounter is like, I think, is a good sort of juxtaposition of space that sort of complements the enemy, because the Molotov cocktail that serves like an area denial, right, tool is quite menacing in the narrow space like this, right? Even so, again, it's quite tense, but also there's like this very safe area that you can escape to, right? And the guy on the other side can't really throw Molotov cocktail at you, so you're basically safe and can like fight with incoming enemies like on your own terms. So you still have control of the situation. It's like a complete mess. One thing that I dislike a little bit about this is how, again, a bunch of Pranmas just came from behind. Again, from the area that I cleared, that looked to me. It's like it looks like this game is like really likes to do that kind of trick of creating an impression that the space is safe and it's under your control, but then now I'm going to backspawn in the most awkward moment possible, which is definitely a design approach that I don't feel like it complements this game. What is this place like function-wise? What's the purpose? It's like some sort of like some kind of mining infrastructure or something? Is this some sort of transportation? I don't know, like this is a bit confusing to me, like what kind of area I'm navigating. What's like the lore? Oh, there is... Oh, sneaky barrel. So the barrel is quite scary. I'm not sure how I get this... This plank is having a blast. Damn. So I guess I can get it later or something? That's the idea? If I don't forget about it. That is a good party.
Out of the way.
Yeah, that is clean. Of course, there's a guy behind me. Because why not? Because why not just spawn silently a guy behind you? Well, he was picking, but again, could easily miss him. That looks menacing. Okay. So actually, I completely forgot that I have. Yeah, let's try to use a bolt thrower. Okay, this pass is blocked. Oh, that's a lot of items. Very generous.
Good luck finding someone big enough to use this thing.
Yeah, that's that's a nice little foreshadowing too of the incoming big baddie. Okay, it's another blue medallion shit. Did I kill like a crow behind it? How are you still alive? That doesn't look like a good place for these dogs to fight me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is... I think this is the area where we fight the big guy. Okay, no, I didn't kill the crow. It's just this is how bolt is highlighted when you drop it. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the boss arena, if I remember correctly from the footage that I saw. You can kind of see how these gates can close, right? So maybe it won't be a boss encounter right now, since I can go further. But maybe when I backtrack, the area will close, and this is where the guy... I think this is the gates that the giant monster breaks. And I mean, you can clearly hear him, right? So that's again another like a very nice touch in regards to sound design. How you can clearly hear that there's someone is like sleeping, right? So it looks like something probably that you don't wanna, you know, meet. Okay, another chest. Okay, this purple fire taught me that there is a merchant nearby. Am I correct? Yep.
Take a look. Something's bound to catch your eye.
There are enough weapons here to get a party going.
Alright, the rocket launcher, the ultimate weapon in Resident Evil games. Instead of letting your unused guns collect dust, why not sell them and spend the extra cash to upgrade weapon you do use? When you sell a weapon you've tuned up, you'll get almost all the expenses you put into it back. There is no catch, mate. We're just rooting for you. And this merchant is such a nice guy.
Welcome. Well then, what can I do you for? A well-tuned weapon can make up for a lack of
Let's
good
repair
luck
the
to you,
knife
stranger.
and
Dazzled, are you?
let's invest into it.
Our craftsmanship demands no less.
Anything to sell? Yep.
Your valuables won't do you much good.
And
right?
that's it, I think, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Gotta don't get yourself killed now.
That's a really comfy place actually to set up a shop. I like it.
Break's over, I suppose.
Okay, so this is the way to go, right? Looks like. Is it the door? Man, there are like actually so many ways. This is where I came from. There's like one way to go down, now there's a door. Oh my god, and then there is an elevator. Okay, no, this is where I came from. But this is another way. So many options. Okay, that looks like a part of a key. Actually, I'll save again. Yeah, because I think I'll stop here for today. Another nice merchant shop. Very comfy merchant shop place to stop the stream on. Yep. GG again. And yeah, I'm kind of enjoying Resident Evil so far. Even so,
Take a look.
in counter design wise,
Something's bound to catch your eye.
I'm not completely feeling it. There are a lot of things that I approaches or like sensibilities, I guess, I a bit dislike, but it's still quite entertaining and, you know, intriguing and captivating still to keep going. So yeah, it's the next time I'll play Resident Evil 4 again, I think, probably, and then maybe start like mixing with some indie games. Yeah, as usual, next Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Next week, I'll see you again. And Zombie, thanks for coming in, as usual. Thanks for introducing a new dish to my, you know, like a knowledge arsenal. And yeah, thanks to anyone who watched the VOD. Appreciate you, especially if you got to the end. Hopefully you got something out of it. And yeah, I'll see you later. Have a good rest of your day and stay safe as usual. Bye bye.